The configuration section in CommUnity holds the settings related to system connectivity, such as devices and extensions, and access permissions, which includes licensing and roles and permissions. The devices menu are where physical IP phones and SIP devices are listed, also referred to as generic SIP devices. These are non-certified equipment that are connected to your CY system, allowing you to bring your own devices. The quick reference overview displays key device information that shows the device type, MAC address, assigned user, the device's location, whether SIP and TLS are enabled, and the registration status of the device. At the top, we'll find sort and also filtering options, along with the usual CSV export of the displayed results. We can manage Hotdesk devices from the top right, which are shared devices that multiple users can utilize by logging in and out of, such as you'd expect in a call center or shared workspace. Note that Hotdesking can only be enabled on physical devices and are assigned by site for designation and E911 location purposes. Once a phone is assigned to a site, you can change the assignment from the Hotdesking row. Location, on the other hand, distinguishes a device when a user selects their primary callout device from the MyHUD application and is only seen by that user. For example, if a user is only using the MyHUD app, they will see softphone as the location in MyHUD, or one of the other labels if the device is from the device's menu. The location labels for physical devices can be seen here. Let's create a new device via the Create button. Device type options will depend on your system setup, while MAC address and password are the only additional required fields. Configure any additional fields as desired, and click Create Device once ready. Once a device has been created, we can manage additional options by clicking Edit from the main overview under Actions. With the exception of device type, you can edit any of the below options. To quick view the phone's admin password or reset the password, use the buttons in the top right, just next to Edit. To change any of the below device settings, simply click on Edit Info, make the adjustments needed, and click Save Changes when ready. Now let's head over to Extensions Management. Extensions allow connectivity to and from CommUnity users, ring groups, queues, conferences, IVRs, and external forwarding destinations. The overview table shows all the important information pertaining to an extension, such as the actual extension number, and what or whom the extension is assigned to. That could be a DID, a call menu, a group, a user, or a conference room. If you're looking for a certain extension or extension attribute, you can use the search filters such as the predefined list or a freehand search form. You can also generate a CSV with the table of extensions by clicking on the Generate CSV button. When it comes to creating extensions, there are two types available: user extensions and virtual extensions, as seen by these filtering buttons. While user extensions are to be routed to a user's call device, virtual extensions are attached to a non-user destination such as a ring group or a call menu. If you'd like to create a user with an extension, that can be done in the User Creation tool under the Organization Parent menu. Click Create to start with a new extension setup. Prefix, extension number, and description are mandatory fields here, while site and DID assignment are optional, as is whether the extension is displayed to users in the HUD directory list. Note that the default prefix is configured when your CommUnity account is created, even if no prefix is actually specified, such as in my case, an A or not applicable is still the selectable prefix for my main site. Additional prefixes can be created anytime under the Organization Parent menu and by going to Sites. Next, we'll choose a call routing destination for the extension under the Call Routing section. Here we can choose our call menu, our Teams group, the conference, or routing to a user. We can also forward this local extension to an external phone number. Click Create Extension when ready. Depending on the destination of the extension, if we head under Actions, Go To, it will take us to the destination. In this case, it is a user. So if I click Go To, it'll take me to that user's details. Similar for a group, Go To will take me to that user group. View, on the other hand, will allow me to go into a view mode of the extension and its details in full. Since this extension is assigned to a user, I won't find it under the ring group or call menu actions. Next up, we'll learn about phone number management. DIDs can be assigned to any system destination similar to extensions. The assignment of phone numbers, however, is not done from this page, which is strictly used to reference what phone numbers are in the system and where they're routing to. Rather, numbers need to be assigned to a destination from the configuration menu of that particular destination. For example, to assign a DID to a user, you would edit the user from under Organization Users menu and assign the DID to them from there. The same process would apply to conferences, call menus, groups, and so on. Note that ordering and managing phone numbers must be done by reaching out to a community sales representative. The first column that appears contains the DID number, the second is the assigned destination. We can also see what site the DID belongs to, whether or not it's used for a calling menu, text capability, the user it's assigned to, if applicable, if there's a virtual extension assigned to the DID to route to internally, and if it's assigned to a group or conference, which one would show here. Also assigned is a description and a geolocation with a 911 address. Clicking Manage Users allows you to manage the list of users in bulk that can change their caller ID on outbound calls to this particular phone number. This is done from the MyHUD application before an outbound call is made. One last thing to mention about DID management is this used for call menu toggle switch. If you plan on using a specific DID for a site call menu, toggle this to on so that other administrators don't accidentally use this DID for other purposes. You can read more about that in the description in the header. Up next, how to manage conferences. Conferences provide a full list of all users' private conference room settings and options, as set initially when provisioning users under the Organization menu. The Quick View and Edit modes allow you to easily change a user's conference settings by clicking the editable fields. Simply update with new information and save using the check mark. In addition to the room number, conference name, conference owner, we also have the moderator pin, so as to give moderator privileges to the attendee once the moderator pin is entered, and a participant pin if you want users to have to use that pin in order to join the conference. The next set of toggles are related to user behavior in the conference room itself, such as joining before the moderator is present, whether participants can stay in the conference room after the moderator has left, if there's a welcome prompt played to participants on entry, and whether a tone plays when participants join and leave. Note that if you want to change the conference room owner, you'll need to head back over to the Users section, which is under Organization, and edit the user settings from there. For a full export of conferences and settings, download using the Generate CSV button. In the next section, we'll look at system licensing. Various license types are available throughout the CommUnity application, extending its core features and functionality and unlocking third-party integrations. An overview of all available and assigned licenses are located in this table overview. The licensing table is comprised of the following columns: license name, which generally describes what it's for, call center license for example. License type denotes whether it's a core license, meaning included with the CommUnity system, an add-on, or any other license type. The license types you see available will depend on which add-ons and bundles you have. The additional 2 columns are the available and used licenses in inventory. You could manage the assignment of each license by clicking the Manage Users action button. Click Edit Info to bulk assign users with the Assign Users button by checking the users from the list and confirming with the Assign Users button. If you want to remove users from this license type, go ahead and select the users in bulk, just as with assigning users, and click on Assign Users. Once changes are made here, the total number of licenses available and used will change, as with the license counts reflected here. It should be noted that the license type Core does not allow you to add or remove users, as these are system default license types. Next, we'll manage roles and permissions. The Roles and Permissions page defines user control over features, views, and admin panel access. We've seen roles defined throughout the various menu sections in this community training series, and here we'll take a look at the structure in greater detail. User roles are structured by name, role type, the assigned system template, and the admin level required to inherit the role. Note that roles can only be deleted by admins given the appropriate permissions. To edit a role instead, head to the Actions column and click Edit. Click Edit Info in order to change the name of the role and whether it's an allowable or a deniable permission type. That is, for example, when assigning this role, is the queue supervise permission given to the user or allow, or denied access to the user or deny? If you scroll to the very bottom of the user role details management, you can also view a list of all users assigned to the role. In this case, since it's a default role for all users, there's no need to manage the users here. Now back from the user role overview, let's walk through creating a new role template. You can create roles individually by clicking the Create button, or we can create a template which will give us our own default roles and permissions customization with the ability to make small modifications if needed to the template in order to make it easier to create and launch new roles. Let's click Create. Start by giving the role template a unique name. Choose the minimum admin level needed for a user to inherit this role. User or 0 would be a regular system user. Here's a quick refresh of the admin levels. Admin level user 0 is the default and standard role for non-admin system users with no community admin panel access. Customer admin 1 is limited admin panel access with ability to manage users, phone numbers, and phones of local site only. Typical level 1 users would be call center managers, call center supervisors, team leads, and the site administrator. Customer Senior Admin 2 can administer the entire company settings in community, sites, users, etc. by default. However, custom permissions can be established for restricting level 2 roles. That is, certain features and permissions can be added or removed from the default role, with further setting customizations. Level 3 is the primary default administrator added to all systems, which is usually the main point of contact on the account when your system was ordered. Level 3 administrators can perform administrative tasks directly or set up a Level 2 administrator to manage those tasks as well. Note that you won't see the Level 3 admin here if you're not Level 3. One thing to note about admin levels is that an administrator can only create a user or administrator at the levels below them, but not including their own. For example, a Level 3 administrator can manage levels 2 or 1 or 0, but a Level 2 administrator can only manage levels 1 and 0. In most organizations, only one administrator is Level 3. When changing the admin level, the permissions available for configuration will also change, helping you to decide which access is needed for the new role. Again, those permissions can be configured as either permissive or restrictive. Choose Allow or Deny for the role's permission type. Next is the role type category. This type is used to restrict the permissions of individual sections of the CY panel. For example, the queue type role permits queue management, site for site management, and so on. If you want to create a broader set of permissions that applies to multiple panel settings, choose the custom role type. Choose whether you're creating this role as a one-time configuration or a template which you can reuse. Useful for applying sub-permissions to users with minor modifications, for example. Keep in mind that parent permission scopes override child permissions when stacking. Now that I've chosen the custom role type, we'll see all the role type sections displayed below, starting with queue permissions. Since I've chosen the user scope for the admin level, not all permissions will be available to the users. For example, under all queues, the queue supervise is available, but not the update queue. The first checkbox will give the role all permissions for the category, while expanding the rows reveal their child permissions, restricting the role even further. When available, you'll find the ability to edit the scope to the right of the permission. Updating to customer admin, you'll note that I have all available options. In this example, we'll enable the View Queue permission for this role and click the Edit Role drop-down. I can now select specific queues to be viewable. This could be all queues, queues that only I'm a part of, specific queues chosen from a list, or exclude certain queues from being viewable with Exclude Queues. Now that I've chosen my specific queue, I have a user permissions role named My Demo Role, which applies to users at level 0 that gives permission to view their own queues in my HUD. Click Create when you're finished. I can now click the Templates tab from the main overview and see my role in the templates list. I can now create a role from that template or make changes to the template. When creating the role, I can apply it to a site, a queue, a department, and if you configured any user permissions on the role, you'll find the Users Assignment section here as well. It should be noted that default core roles, such as core BH rights, cannot be removed from the system. If it's not a core role, the delete icon will appear next to it. Now that we've learned about roles and permissions, that concludes the configuration menu of the CommUnity training guide. Congratulations, and I'll see you in the next video.